Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the pre-week analysis. I am late today. I had a very busy day. Me and my daughter, we spent some quality time together today. So we went on an adventure at the city lake. We went boulder climbing. We wrote our names in a big boulder that's gonna last for 100 years to let my daughter tell it. So yeah, we made some great memories today. I'll share pictures on Twitter and on my Instagram for you guys to see. So with that being said, let me share a quick disclaimer before we jump into it. This is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this call is for educational purposes only. I repeat, this is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this call and analysis is for educational purposes only. All righty, let's jump into it. So, looking at the pre-week analysis, well, the market has already opened, so technically I can't call it a pre-week analysis this week, but the new trading week as far as New York opening market hasn't started yet. So we can say pre New York session opening market analysis. So excuse me. With that being said, let's get into it, guys. So, guys and ladies. So, looking at Dixie, the dollar index, I would like to see us stay above the daily PD arrays. So if you look to the left, I'm sorry, the right of my chart, you'll see all of my levels are um identified. You can see the black levels are the daily levels, blue levels are weekly levels, and anytime you see green levels, those are monthly um levels. I mean, um they are described in the title of the level. So you can see right here, I got 62% daily PD array, 79% daily PD array, daily sell side liquidity. Up here, we have a weekly and daily sales buy side liquidity sitting on top of one another. Down here, you see my weekly PD arrays. They are marked, right? And they're titled in the description 62% weekly PD array, 79% weekly PD array, weekly sell side liquidity. So, for the beginning of the week, for Dixie this week, I would like to see us find support here. Um, find support here. Um, I will allow for us to pull down into the daily sell side liquidity to run Friday sell side liquidity, right? And this pink shaded area is a daily fair value gap because we are on the weekly time frame as of now. But when I break down to the daily time frame, you will see that daily fair value gap, right? So I will allot for price to pull down into that daily fair value gap, running that daily sell side liquidity from Friday's price range. And I would want to see us Mohawk is coined by Michael Huddleston. I would like to see us just barely wick down into that daily fair value gap. So meaning barely running that daily sell side liquidity right here and like barely wicking down into the daily fair value gap. So now I'll break it down to the daily. You'll see the daily fair value gap here between this candle's high and this candle's low. So basically, I would allot for price to pull down into that daily fair value gap, maybe one handle over or even one tick over that low at Friday's low at 106.2290. Maybe see us wick down in there to 106,291, right? Just enough to barely breach that fair value gap. And then I would like to see price react aggressively to the upside, right? Start making long, wide, thick green candles to the upside, breaking back above those daily fair value gaps. That would give me the confidence that I need to start being bullish or on the bullish side of price for the dollar up to my next point of interest, which would be 107.993. So that's what I want to see. I did see to start. Now, if my attention, sell side liquidity and possibly this day, right? So those are my four open out. But my open bias, right, is dollar to the upside. I am bullish dollar. So if you which direction am I leaning towards the most and what side of the dollar am I on the most? I am on the bullish side of the dollar the most. I have the dollar going higher this week. And so I just outlined where I wanted to see us pull back to. If indeed we do pull back, price could very well the rest of Asian markets tonight going into London not even pull back down into these daily PDO higher, right? If we do that, I would wait for price to run Friday's buy side liquidity, right? And come back and find support on top of that buy side liquidity. And then I would start to look for the dollar to continue higher from there. So with that being said, let's look at our currency pairs really quick. Vice versa with currency pairs. So, I am expecting currency, right? But I would allot for Euro Friday levels, right? And you see I have a mark here, right? These are Friday's premium daily PD array levels, right? So I would a lot for price to pull back up into that 79% level. I do not want to see it get above this red line that I have right here, which is a weekly consequent weekly candle, right? So if we go down I'm sorry, up to the weekly time frame, you'll see that I measured the body of this and I marked the consequent encroachment body of that count. I would like to see below the body, right? So that would allow for price to up into that 79% PD array level for Friday's price range. And I want to see an aggressive reaction to the downside off of that level. And I do not want to see us break or retest consequent encroachment last week's body, right? So with that being said, I'll go back down to the daily time frame. So you can see that level again, 79% PD array level, 1.05454, right? And I don't want to see price retest this red line, which is consequent encroachment of the body of the weekly candle from last week's price action or price range, should I say. So that's what I want to see out of Euro USD. Like I said, for the dollar, if we do break above the daily PD array levels, right? Then I would be expecting price to be running up to retest last week's weekly PD array levels, which of course we would have to run the 62 level first. And if we break above that aggressively and close above it, I would expect a run of the 79% weekly PD array level next, and so forth and so forth. But my bias for currencies is to the downside. So I do expect to see a sell off of Friday's daily premium PD array levels for Euro USD, as well as GBP USD, same thing. Um, this is the consequent encroachment of last week's body, right? I don't want to see us get above that if we are going to continue lower, right? Um, Now you see our daily PD array level sits above the consequent encroachment. On Euro, they were below the consequent encroachment. So I may use some discretion with GBP USD and allow for price to pull up into those daily PD arrays. So the consequent encroachment for GBP USD isn't as strong as the consequent encroachment on Euro USD as far as I'm concerned, because as you can see, the the PD array levels are below consequent encroachment for Euro USD, but they are above consequent encroachment for GBP USD. So that makes this consequent encroachment not as strong, in my opinion, on the pound as it would be on Euro USD. So I would allow for GBP USD to pull up into those premium PD arrays, right? But I do not want to see us run the buy side liquidity for GBP USD, right? I want to see us stay below, and I don't want to see us break and close above the 79% daily PD array for GBP USD. I want to see us respect that level, right? I want to see us have an aggressive reaction to the downside off of that level, right? And close below that level. I don't even want to see price wick above that level. I would like to see price reach up and retest it perfectly, maybe give us a mohawk above it, maybe one handle, or should I say one pip, because this is currencies, one pip or two pips above it, and then aggressively react to the downside, right? And then once we get back below these PD array levels, right? Um, After that reaction to the downside, once we get back below them, I would expect price to come back up and not break above the consequent encroachment. Use this as an inversion consequent encroachment, right? That's what I would use it as, right? And I would not like to see price break back above it, but respect it, a strong respect, and continue to the downside, right? Because I am bearish for currencies, bullish for the dollar, bearish for currencies. Now, looking at NZD USD, um, let's look at the weekly chart. You see, I have consequent encroachment marked on NZD USD as well. I would not like to see us break above consequent encroachment for NZD USD, right? Even though the daily PD array levels are above consequent encroachment, just like with the pound. However, we came up into this weekly fair value gap multiple times. Once here, twice here, three times here, right? And four times here. And both this time and this time, we broke back above that consequent encroachment, right? But price didn't close above that consequent encroachment and wasn't able to break above that fair value gap and close above the fair value gap. That leads me to believe that price um is unwilling to go higher, right? And being that we reached up into that weekly fair value gap twice and running that consequent encroachment 2 times, if we're going to continue lower, I don't see a reason for price to come back up into that weekly fair value gap. So um, for me to be be confident in my bearish bias for NZD to the downside, I do not want to see us break above consequent encroachment. We could run at Mohawk above it for a pip or two, but I would like to see a respect of that level, a body close below that level in an aggressive reaction to the downside. And I'm expecting us to run this sell side liquidity next, which is a monthly sell side liquidity. So that's what I'm expecting out of NZD USD. Looking at futures, looking at ES. Um, I am bearish ES, but I will allow for us to pull up into Friday's daily premium PD array levels, right? But I don't want to see us break or close above the 79% daily PD array level. So I don't want to see us break and close above this level here, right? I would like to see us respect that level, close below it, and an aggressive reaction to the downside. And my attention is on this uh weekly fair value gap that we have right here. I would like to see price reach down and retest this area that we see here, shaded in blue with the black border. So that's where my eyes is drawn to, this sell side liquidity here at this low. Should have that mark. Weekly time frame. What is that low? 41.34. Hold on. 41.34. 41.34. Yeah, yeah. There we go. So I am expecting E-mini S&P 500 to reprice down to 41.34. That is my point of interest, my price target for sell side liquidity for Euro, I'm sorry, for ES, right? Now, if we break above the daily PD array levels, right? If we break above these levels, then I will be expecting for ES to pull up into the monthly PD array levels, right? If we break through these levels aggressively and run that weekly buy side liquidity, I'll wait for price to pull back down into the no further than the consequent encroachment of this wick, right? Consequent encroachment of this wick, I would wait for price to pull back down, and that looks like it might. That consequent encroachment of that wick probably is right there with the 79% level. Yep, right there with it. So I would expect price to pull back down into the 79% of that daily PD array, right? Use it as an inverse PD array. And I would expect higher prices up to the monthly premium PD arrays of last month's price range, right? So that's what I'm expecting out of ES. My bias, right, is to the downside. but I'm just giving you the different scenarios that could play out because nothing is 100% with price action, as you clearly seen from last week, as I had a rocky start last week in my analysis. So you have to be able to be nimble. You have to be able to readjust your analysis and get on the right side of price action if the market calls for that. So that's what I'm expecting out of ES, right? And if we don't even make it up to these daily PD array levels, I would love to see that. I would just want to see us break below the weekly PD array levels, right? And then use those levels as inverse PD array levels to short ES to the downside, down to my sell side liquidity target at 41.34. So, and I'm not saying we're going to get to 41.34 this week. It may take us a couple of weeks to get there, but that's where my overall target is at as far as um draw on liquidity. So there you have it. And basically the same thing for NQ. I expect us to pull back up into the into the daily PD array, premium PD array levels from last Friday. But I would like to see us um, respect those levels, and I would like to see us not wick above or close above 79%. And I would like to see an aggressive bearish reaction to those levels to the downside. And once we break below the weekly PD discount PD array levels, then I will be expecting those levels to inverse and act as inverse PD array levels, um, giving me the opportunity to short at those levels down into this weekly fair value gap here and potentially this weekly fair value gap here that we see to the downside. So that is what I have for futures going forward, ladies and gentlemen. And that will conclude the pre-week, the New York session pre-week analysis. As always, guys, if these reviews, these weekly reviews and analysis are adding any value to your life, please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out a lot, you guys. And I appreciate you guys that engage with all of my content. You leave comments on the YouTube channel and my Discord channel, whether it's my Discord or Trader Roundup Discord. All the guys that's been signing up lately, I appreciate the love. If you would like to sign up for the private trade group, go to my website, precisionpipsllc.com, and register for the silver package. It's $150 a month subscription fee, and you get private access to content that's not available on any of my social media platform, one-on-one talks with me and other members of the trade family trading group. You get access to paid Bloomberg content, chief fundamentalist Corman, who has over 20 plus years of analyzing these global fundamentals, and you just get access to a very seasoned group of traders who's been making their way in these markets for at least 2 years or more. So with that being said, I look forward to seeing you guys in the Telegram group, in the Discord, and in the market streets for the new trading week. So With all of that being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, coming out, getting this knowledge and empowering yourselves. Let your family and friends know you love them while they still here. Please. And as always, peace and love, everybody. You know.